What is the least privilege in cybersecurity? When we talk about cybersecurity, one of the fundamental principles we rely on is something called least privilege. So, what does that mean? It's actually pretty simple. Least privilege is all about giving someone just the bare minimum access they need to do their job and nothing more. Imagine this. You're working at a company and everyone has access to everything, from sensitive client data to internal server controls. Sounds like a disaster waiting to happen, right? That's exactly why the least privilege principle is so important. It limits the potential damage if someone's accounts gets compromised or if they accidentally click on something they shouldn't. You might be asking yourself, why do we need it? The reason the least privilege is so crucial comes down to risk management. Think of it this way. Every extra bit of access you give someone adds a layer of risk. If someone doesn't need access to certain files, systems, or data, why give it to them? It minimizes the attack surface. So if an attacker gets into someone's account, the damage is contained. The attacker can't access everything. They're limited to what that specific person can see or do. You might be asking yourself, how does it work? Here is how least privilege works. When you're setting up access controls for employees, you only give them permission to access the tools and data they need for their job. No more, no less. It's like giving someone the keys to only the rooms they need to go, rather than handing over the keys to the entire building. Access can be adjusted over time. So if someone moves to a new role or needs extra access temporarily, those permissions can be added or revoked as necessary. But at the core, the idea is to minimize how much access people have to critical systems. What does it do? By implementing least privilege, you're protecting your organizations in several ways. It reduces the chances of insider threats, whether intentional or accidental, because employees can't access parts of the system that aren't relevant to their work. It also makes it easier to track who's doing what within your systems. So if something goes wrong, you know where to look and how to respond. You'll see least privilege used everywhere in cybersecurity. It's applied when granting access to network resources, cloud, databases, and even physical access to certain areas. In practice, anytime you're managing permissions, whether it's on a server, a shared drive, or even a physical security card, you should be thinking about least privilege. Here's a real-world example. Think about an intern joining your company. They probably only need access to their emails, maybe a few shared documents, and that's it. But imagine if they had access to companies' financial records, client databases right from day one. That's a huge risk. What if they accidentally delete something important or get phished? With least privilege, they only get access to the tools they actually need on their day job. So even if something goes wrong, the damage is minimal. Another example, think about admin rights. Not every employee should have administrator level access to their computer or systems. Giving admin rights means they can install software, change settings, and maybe even access things they shouldn't. By restricting admin rights, you're controlling the ability for malware to spread or for mistakes to be made that could impact the entire organization. In summary, the least privilege is a powerful concept that helps protect organizations by restricting access to what's absolutely necessary. It's a must for anyone serious about cybersecurity, and it's something you should be thinking about every time you're managing access in your systems. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. See you in the next video.